here we are at BVE 2014. Now there's three cameras that I'm interested in having a look at. The Panasonic GH4, the Panasonic PX270 and the JVC 850. The last time I spoke to you, Rob, was at IBC. Now the 270 was sitting in a wee glass case. We've now got it for real and the pictures look as good as I thought they would.
Well, I'm really excited by the introduction of the PX270. For the first time in a handheld camera, you got the DNA of a shoulder mount camera in a small size. So silly little things like the menu structures that you get within this camera is the same as what you have in the shoulder mount camera. So manipulation of the picture quality, the color corrections, etc. will be the same as what you would expect on a shoulder mount camera. All that in a small, compact, lightweight, easy to handle camera.
Now, the one thing I was reading up about was the difference between intra and ultra. Now, seemingly, you can tell me, you can get better pictures at less megabits, is that right?
That's right. So AVC Intra has been around for a number of years now, and we're not just dismissing it or getting rid of it. AVC Ultra is a family of codecs, which AVC Intra is a part of that family. But we've expanded that family to include higher quality codecs, that's AVC Intra Class 200, and also more efficient codecs at lower data rates by introducing AVC Long G at 25 or Long G 50, still maintaining full resolution HD at 1920 by 1080, 4:2 10-bit, but an amazing 25 megabits or 50 megabits.
How does the lens compare to, say, an ENG camera?
That's right. So it's obviously with the handheld cameras, there's going to be compromises made to get to a small size and well balanced. One of those compromises is it's got an integrated lens on there. So with a shoulder mount camera, you would have the flexibility of an interchangeable lens. With a handheld, you've got a fixed lens. But a lens within the 270 is the same, it's a redesign of the 250, which has been well established, well accepted by the market. So times 22 zoom lines from an amazing wide angle view all the way through to very tight telephoto.
The other thing he was asking me was, can he put his SDHC card in there and use it at the better quality, say 50 megabits a second?
You certainly can do. We recently introduced Micro P2 to the P2 range. This is the miniaturized P2 cards in the same form factor as an SD. Because we got this now with the PX270, we got two Micro P2 slots. These Micro P2 slots can also be used for SD cards for up to 50 megabits per second. Yeah.
Now, as far as the camera is concerned, how many slots has it got? It looks as if it's got a P2 slot as well.
That's right, because P2 cards are still being used. Still many people have had them since day one in 2004 when we introduced it. People are still using their P2 cards that they've bought in those times. So the 270's got a P2 slot as well as the two Micro P2 slots in there.
And last but not least, when are we going to see these cameras? Because there's a lot of people very interested in them.
That's a good thing. The due date for release is the end of March, so first shipments to dealers April time. So
tell me, Alistair, you've been using the F5 for how long now?
So I bought my F5 when it first came out, so that's about a year now. It's coming up on its first anniversary. And it's just a camera that's got better and better and better, and I really love shooting with it. It's a great camera.
Now, what has the extra firmwares as have been coming along done for the camera?
Oh, since the camera was launched, the difference is staggering. So when it first came out, it really was a bit of an unfinished camera. I mean, it worked, it made beautiful pictures and everything else, but it wasn't great. Now we have all kinds of neat stuff. So we now have the slow motion, of course. We can go up to 240 frames per second in 2K. We have two different distinct modes of shooting. We have custom mode, where you change your picture profiles and you create your look in camera. And then you have the Cine EI mode, where the camera behaves like a film camera or like an Arri Alexa and behaves that way. There's crop mode, so you can use Super 16 lenses or get a quick 2x zoom in on your image. We have lookup tables now, very important for anyone using the camera in the Cine mode. And what's really cool now with the lookup tables is you can go out and you can shoot a test shot with the camera, take it into Sony's RAW viewer, which is free, grade it, and then export that grade as a lookup table back to the camera. So when you go out and shoot, your look is there on the viewfinder or on your monitor, but your recordings are still flat. So if you change your mind later, it doesn't matter. You have that flat recording to do your grading from. So really become a very capable, very versatile camera.
Now, versatility-wise, can you use a powered zoom?
So yeah, you can add, one of the key things with this camera, it's always been the case, is you can change the lens mount. So it comes with a PL mount, but you can take that PL mount off and then convert to a whole host of other lens mounts. So Canon EF, Nikon, and B4. Now B4, there's several choices of adapters, from a low budget MTF adapter going up to the new Sony B4 adapters. And that allows you to use your ordinary 2/3 inch ENG zoom lens, zoom in and out with a servo zoom, quick, fast turnaround work, and it's really good, really flexible. But do consider, those lenses are HD lenses, so most of them aren't going to be terribly good at 4K. There are some that do work quite well at 4K. And also when you're using a very big zoom lens, you tend not to get that film look anymore. Really for the film look, you want your prime lenses or higher quality lenses. The ENG zoom lenses are designed for TV. They're not designed for movie production. But gives you that flexibility. One day you could be using the camera to do news or documentaries. The next day, just by changing the lens mount, put PL lenses on or prime lenses of some sort, and it's a really good movie making camera. So it's not a compromise either way.
So tell me, Simon, production gear, what have they got in show in 2014?
Well, here at BVE 2014, we've got a lot of exciting new products. We have got Phantoms, the Phantom 2 from DJI, which is a quadcopter. We've got the new B-Steady 1, and we've also got the B-Steady 4 prototype, which is a 3-axis handheld stabilizer. We've got a range of wooden camera rigs. We've got the SERP Genie, which is a small box that you can put onto your slider, which will then change it into a motion slider. You can use it for time lapses also. It's a very nice piece of kit. We've got some exciting new tripods from 3-Legged Thing. These are tiny tripods which are packed down to about 40 centimetres, weigh 1.6 kilos, and you can take them practically everywhere. So for small cameras like the pocket camera where you're trying to keep a minimal kit, absolutely essential and ideal for that.
Now, maybe about a week ago we had some amazing comments from people that are talking about the Phantom.
Yes.
I've had a wee feel of this. It's a fair weight, and what you were trying to point out was if this came down from 100 metres and hit somebody, it could blooming well kill them.
Absolutely. So we're a DJI Tier 1 reseller, so we specialise in selling the Phantoms. We're not so much interested in the bigger ones, but certainly the Phantoms. And part of the job is we want to educate people about using them. So within the UK there are restrictions. If you're using them for commercial purposes, you need to get a CAA, permission for aerial work. To get one of these, you need to go through a course either run by Resource or Euro USC, and at the end of that, as long as you pass, they'll recommend to the CAA that you're issued a permission for aerial work, which means that you can then go and operate. However, when you do operate, you still do need to follow certain procedures where you can fly, the height, and complete surveys and logs, which you then need to keep for CAA inspection at a later stage.
So Michael, tell me, you have a GH4 and the 42.5 f1.2 lens.
That's right.
That just sounds like magic to me.
Yeah, well, to start with, the lens is incredible on its own. It's a 1.2 Leica lens, beautiful portrait lens, giving you lots of defocus control, lots of depth of field, and then GH4, so successor to GH3, lots of improvements in terms of photography, so the burst speed, the dynamic range, the ISO levels, the noise level, but of course the big headline is that it's also now 4K on video, so becoming a much more professional video product as well as improving the still side.
So just thinking about the GH3 and the GH4, when people look at the camera there's absolutely no difference in the size or the buttons, but inside it's like they're poles apart.
Absolutely. I mean, the only thing that's kind of similar is the sensor is still micro four thirds, still 16 million, but it's a brand new sensor built especially for this, so giving you lots more control over, like I said, dynamic range, ISO. The speed of the burst shooting is up to 12 frames a second. It's even 7 frames a second with focus tracking. The focus itself is faster. We're using a new focus system, which was already very fast on all our other Lumix G, but is even faster again now. So there's lots of difference, and then of course all the extra processing that's needed for 4K. And not just 4K, but we can do 4K in 100 megabits per second. We can output it at 422 at 10-bit, so really high quality professional 4K, as well as the high def as well, which is still superb.
Now, what about the Sdi Adapter? I mean, that's just unreal, unheard of in a consumer camera.
Yeah, it's a new one on me as well, and I look after our consumer cameras, so it's something to learn about. But yeah, it's a Sdi Adapter. It's got 5 Sdi outs, so each one of those will give you, 4 of them give you 4K. One of them's for the time code. It's got a couple of XLR adapters on there. It's got power. It's got separate line adjustments for your audio, so a really nice docking station for the pro users out there and the semi-pro users.
And last but not least, when do you think they'll be coming to market? I mean, we don't know the price yet, but what about, I mean, people are waiting for these, you know,
yeah,
myself.
well, as you can see, it's soon. It's here, and this is a pre-production sample. The exact launch date hasn't been announced yet, but I think we're looking at an announcement very soon, and a launch certainly within the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Tell me, Billy, what have you got on offer today?
Right, well, we've got here reconditioned Carl Zeiss lenses. We declick them, gear them all the way around 360 degrees. They're remounted to Canon EF, which is, in our opinion, is the best mount to kind of future-proof your lenses, get them on any camera, the F5, C300. We pellicase them up, and then we sell them on. So good, solid cinematic lenses for a very reasonable price.
And what about those lights?
These lights, these are awesome. We've just developed these lights. I think you can see one behind me. These are the Scorpion light, which we've got launched a Kickstarter campaign to raise money. They are based on a super clamp, so you can super clamp them to anything: rafters, pipes, windowsills, door frames, wheel arches, whatever your imagination can find. When you get them out of the super clamp, they've got a 1/4-inch thread, so you can put it as a top light on top of your camera. You can offset it 3/4. There are magnetable filters on there. They're battery powered. They're dimmable. They're freaking awesome.
So tell me, Richard, BVE 2014, what have we got that's exciting?
Well, I think probably the most interesting stuff has been in the 4K domain. We've got the Blackmagic 4K camera, which I finally got to use, and I shot some stuff. I had about 2 hours with one on Saturday, and I had about half an hour when the sun came out. So we're showing that with Edius 7, using a Blackmagic card for output to the Panasonic 4K monitor. So that's really quite breathtaking. So there's been lots of interest in 4K, the Panasonic monitor, and the Blackmagic production 4K camera. But perhaps slightly stolen the thunder has been the new GH4 from Panasonic with the docking station, which gives this mirrorless compact quad SDI output. Absolutely astonishing. It's got XLR inputs. It's even got a professional 4-pin power in as well. So this is a really well thought out bit of kit. I've had a little play with the GH4. It's got features like zebra zones. It's got the ability to give you focus peaking, all the stuff you'd really want on a video camera. It's been very well thought out, and the images on the big Panasonic domestic LED screen look astonishingly good. So very excited about that.
Yesterday I had a look at the Chroma Key Setup, which is behind you.
Yes, it's absolutely fantastic piece of kit. Easy to put up, folds down into one bag, and these LED stick lights are really fantastic for providing a gentle, even light, which is obviously exactly what you need for Chroma Key. And we're using it with the Data Video DVK 300 HD, which is our new HD Chroma Key box, which gives very, very subtle, brilliant edges Chroma Key from HD SDI, DVI, and HDMI. So it's a really useful one-box solution for doing your HD Chroma Key. So to have a look at the setup here, we're really happy with that.
So tell me, John, BVE, and you've got two new cameras.
Yes, indeed, yeah. So a couple of new models called the GY HM850 and 890. 850 orientated as an ENG camera. The 890 can be both ENG as well as studio capable camera. So we're very excited about these products. You can see one over here just behind me. And what the 850 and 890 are offering you is very high degree of functionality in what we call a compact shoulder form factor. So maybe you're familiar with our previous GY HM750 series. What really was unique about those was the weight, the balance, the handling of the camera. Really great camera ergonomically for a cameraman. The 850 takes all of those benefits, but adds in a new sensor giving f12 sensitivity, so fantastic in low light. The full HD sensors, so giving really good image quality at the front end. That's coupled with a new Fujian 20 times lens, offering optical image stabilization and also autofocus capability. So front end vastly improved and really fantastic functionality. From a recording point of view, we continue to record in SDHC or SDXC media. But what's important also, we can now record 1080p 50, and we record in H.264 mode up to 50 megabits per second. So again, really upgrading the recording capability of the camera.
Some of the boys on the internet have been wondering, is there a major difference between the 650 and the 850 picture-wise?
Well, fundamentally they're using similar sensor blocks, so I guess in that sense it would be quite similar really. Obviously it's a different lens configuration, but I guess it would be quite similar in that regard. And you know, image quality 650, 600 series, you know, is really excellent, and again, fantastic in low light. That sensitivity is great for low light shooting conditions.
And last but not least, when do we see them on the market?
End of March. So we're turning it around very quickly from announcement to release, so yeah, you can place your orders now and get one in a month.
So there we have it, that's BBE 2014. We've had a look at the Panasonic GH4, the Panasonic PX270 and the JVC 850. These are the new boys in town, and they're all fantastic cameras.